Welcome to Haunted Homebodies, where Halloween isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sarah, and we're your guides through the delightfully dark corners of comfort horror.
Grab your blankets and your booby traps.
It's time to hunt for treasure. Again.
All right, so I have seen this movie several times. Interestingly, I saw it for the first time as an adult. It's an 80s movie, right?
Yes.
Check my traps.
1985.
Okay, so we're late 80s. I'm a 90s baby, or 89, I'm 90. So it was before our time, and I definitely completely missed it during childhood. I have a couple vague memories, which I will share, but I saw it for the first time as an adult. For this rewatch, I had the absolute pleasure of seeing it opening night at a local drive-in.
So cool.
It was so fun. I definitely have rose-colored glasses for the drive-in, though.
Oh, no.
Because I get so amped. Like, I love the idea of it. It is like peak nostalgia, peak fun snacks. Usually you can have really like super fun double features, movies. I loved it as a kid. Now as an adult, like, I think there is the potential there. I just have not nailed it yet.
Tell me more.
The first time I went with Chris couldn't figure out how to turn off his headlights. So we were that car. So we stayed for the first movie. We're like stressed out the entire time. Had the workers come up to us multiple times, try to help us figure out, be like, can you put a blanket over your car? And we were like so stressed out. We didn't stay for the second movie. It was a really good double feature. It was Nope and then The Black Phone. This was great. I was like, horror double feature, we have to go. And so you might be thinking, like, why didn't you just turn off the car? Like, you could still probably hear with, like, you know, I think that place had the little post speakers and stuff. It was really hot. And also, this was our first time at the drive-in. At this particular one, it was somewhere in New Hampshire. And it smelt like manure so strongly. So just like across the board, it was just like a stressful, terrible experience. And then we're leaving. We leave after the first movie because we're like, we cannot continue on with this night. And as we're driving away, Chris is like playing with you know, like how you turn your lights on and off, like flips it once and they go off, and we're just driving in the pitch black. And I was like, what the hell, man? He's like, oh, I thought I had tried that. Like, oh my gosh. No. So it's like really funny in hindsight, but at the moment we were like not having a good time. So I convinced him, like, you know how fun that was last time? Like, let's do it again. Because like we do not have date nights. Like we don't have consistent childcare right now. So we were just like all baby all the time. Like one of us or both of us is watching our little baby. So we were able to kind of arrange a Friday night out. And I was like, oh gosh, the Goonies are playing. Like we were planning on covering this in the podcast. It's perfect. It was to benefit this like really great charity called the Center for Grieving Children, which is in Portland, Maine. I was like, oh my gosh, like a drive-in movie for charity. For
Amazing.
A movie that I love. I was like, what more could you need? Anyway, like, Chris, we want to go or not? Like, you're coming. Like, I'll be there. You can join. And it was definitely like a far better experience than the first one. But we had the car seat behind me, so I'm like wedged in the front seat, and I'm like, we have to take the car seat out. I was like almost like completely upright, like knees wedged against the dash. And so then we kind of like rearranged it, and then I was able to like at least push back a little bit. But it's just like, I don't know, car seats aren't that comfortable. You can't really see, like, I don't know. I had a pretty good time, but we're also really tired. Chris ended up sleeping through, I would say, 75% of the movie.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna rest my eyes for a minute. I slept through probably 20 minutes of the movie. We were just both so tired. So it was a very like parents' night out night where we're just like, oh, the babies, we don't have to take care of the baby. Why don't we sleep?
You've seen the movie before. It's fine.
I've seen it. Yeah, I woke up. I hopped right back in for the end of the movie. Woke Chris up so he could drive us back home, and then the baby ended up being up for almost the entire night. So we were kind of grateful that we had a little cat nap.
Good. I'm glad.
It was fun though. I still love the drive-in, and like I said, I think with more preparation, like, you know, when you are the child and your parents create this like amazing experience. They pack the drinks,
Yeah.
they pack the snacks, they
Hmm.
pack the blankets, they set everything up, they handle
They
the
know how
driving, the
to
parking,
turn the
everything.
headlights off.
Every time somehow. But now I'm having to learn how to be that adult. Like
Yeah.
just to remember to pack a cooler of drinks for a trip. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I
You
Clark Drake?
know
Am I
who
winning?
you should go to the drive-in with?
Who?
Me. I'd be great
Oh
at
my
this.
gosh. Yeah. You are, yeah, my de facto parent as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go to the drive-in. This sounds, but I'll have
yeah,
fun. This sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah. Okay, perfect. We're gonna go all out. I think with the right amount of like bandwidth and planning, it would be like slam dunk.
Yeah.
Just add,
Yeah.
because we have that theater we want to go to in Pennsylvania that does like all October does
Right.
horror movies.
Hmm.
We're gonna plan a random ass trip to Pennsylvania just to go there. It's
Why
gonna be
not?
great. It's gonna be
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Have you seen this movie before, or was this another first time watch for you?
Okay, so we're going to get through this quick because this is a fun podcast and this is not a downer podcast. I
Oh
have seen
no.
this movie once before. I do not remember any of it, not a second. And that is because the only time that I saw this movie was in sixth grade. They put this on in the classroom. We must have been in different classes in sixth grade. They put this on in the classroom to distract us on September 11th, 2001.
Oh no.
So I don't
Oh shoot.
remember anything about this movie
Yeah.
besides the fact that we watched it.
I
So
may
I
have
just
been there.
rewatched it. Yeah,
Yeah, I may have
it's
been there and just like
possible.
disassociated like, from the
Well,
event.
I obviously did.
Yeah.
Nothing looked familiar about it. I have no memories of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I went in
Anywho,
fresh. I went in fresh. Moving
yeah.
on.
So we'll say this was your first watch
Yeah.
spiritually. What did you think? Give me your initial thoughts, feelings, reactions.
My first thought is holy overstimulation.
Really?
This was just a movie of children screaming the entire time. I'm not saying
That's
I didn't
true.
like it, but it was a lot.
Okay, because when you said overstimulation, I'm like thinking of like the Mummy, where it's like bang, 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 and you're like, oh, do, drink my tea, and I'm knitting. This one just seems like way more chill. There's a lot of action in some of the sequences, like a lot of just like cuts and like more. But now that you say the children screaming, I guess that doesn't faze me as much now.
I think that's
As
probably
someone
right.
who has a baby who babies cry. They
Yeah.
cry. They make a lot of noise.
And you know what? Kids run around and yell a lot, and I think it's
They do.
delightful and also overstimulating.
Oh, I agree. But I guess it was just I was like, oh, I'm in my element.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I love
in my
that. I love
zone.
that for you.
I'm in my zone. Well, I do want to tell you really quick the first time that I saw it, because although it was with an ex-boyfriend, he who shall not be named, that sounds
That
a little bit more
one.
dramatic than it is, but
No. He was awful.
I was
I hope
living
you're
in
listening to this.
There's no chance. Um, he was he was living in San Francisco, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live in San Francisco. That makes me sound bad, but it's true. So I went to San Francisco. That part, aside from like the shitty relationship, was awesome. I really, it really opened my life to a lot. I was, like an East Coast gal, was never planning on leaving. It was so far out of my comfort zone that like I couldn't even see my comfort zone. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she looked like. But anyway, I was there. We won't get too deep into the weeds of my history. I was like, really quick, let me tell you. And then I'm like, I was emotional and should have started therapy then, but waited several years. Anywho, he suggested we go see this movie, and it was at this theater that was so cool. He lived in the Gayborhood, the Castro, in San Francisco. Love that neighborhood. And in it, they have what's called the Castro Theater. Very creative. But it's vintage. It's got a neon sign. They have an organ player who plays before the movies. And they play like exclusively like fun, nostalgic, classic, different movies, and have these just super fun events. So they're showing the Goonies. So I went and I saw it there. And it's just like, how the experience and the atmosphere can just make it like so much more fun. And I'd never seen it, and I was like, why don't I know about this movie? This movie is so fun. So I loved it. It's right up my alley. Nostalgic, adventurous, friendship. Love it.
That is an amazing, amazing first watch. I
It
love
was.
that for
It
you.
was. Yeah,
It's a
everything
little
but who I
different
was
than
there
mine.
with.
It's great.
But now I watched it again with my beautiful sweet husband, who is like the exact opposite of that ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Yeah, in like every way, which is amazing. Yeah, he's
It's
just
so true.
so nice to me.
He who must not be named is appropriate.
Yeah, yeah, a little dramatic, but
Yeah.
I did want to tell you, just to make you fall in love with this theater even a little bit more. I looked at their Instagram and I'm like, what have they been up to? They're currently renovating, but they did do a Halloween movie marathon last year. It was on the Saturday, one of the Saturdays around Halloween, and it was from like 1 till, I don't know, 11 at night or something. And they showed Death Becomes Her, Edward Scissorhands, Hocus Pocus, then had a break for a costume contest, and then finished up with the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
They seem delightful.
So good. So good. I miss San Francisco, but you know what? Let's talk about the Goonies some more. Why don't you introduce the movie for us?
Yes, absolutely. So The Goonies was released before either of us were born on June 7th, 1985. It's a family adventure movie. I think it's pretty clear cut. Family adventure movie, rated 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and it has a 77% critics and 91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Those are pretty solid, and those make sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went on Reddit because I am addicted. And I don't know. I think I was like wondering, you know how when you like a movie and then you realize like, should I like this movie? Like, is this movie isn't like canceled by any means, and like it's pretty delightful.
Oh.
It has a few moments, but I was like, maybe I'm just like the only one who really likes it. I
Oh
don't know why I had
no.
this,
People
but
love this.
yeah, and there was, of course, it's Reddit, so it's just like snarky, snarky, snarky. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's overrated. I hate that what it did for movies, and it made 80s like nostalgia adventure movies a thing. And I was like, what rock did you just crawl out of to like complain about fun and merriment, 80s style?
There's always
Ridiculous.
somebody. There's always going to be somebody. Well, if you would like to
Yeah.
watch this movie along with us, it is currently streaming on Tubi and HBO Max, formerly known as Max, formerly known as HBO Max, formerly known as HBO.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop.
We're back. HBO Max. We're back.
Are we? I missed that. Okay.
They
need
just
to stop.
rebranded. Yes.
It's just like every time the icon is different on my little streaming thing, I'm like, what is going? Well, I can't find it. I was looking for the blue and I'm looking for the gray. Anywho, I'm
Pretty
gonna read
silly.
this synopsis because you plug this in and it kind of made me crack up. When two brothers find out they might lose their house, they are desperate to find a way to keep their home. They find a treasure map and bring some friends along to find it. They are all out looking for X, trying to get away from a group of bad guys who also want the treasure. Did you write this?
I did not.
Okay, it's
I
so
found-
poorly written. It's like, where did this come from? I was
Wait,
like,
wait.
this is barely
So
readable.
this was the best written one I could find.
Oh my
So
gosh,
many
it's
of them
so
were
bad.
so
Was it the
weird.
IMDb synopsis thing?
I don't remember where I
Okay.
found it. I went like all over.
Yeah, because the one I read for Friday the 13th too was like, I like kind of looked around and I was like, this is pretty bad, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to write our
Some
own.
of them
So
were
I was
like, I was like, did AI write some of like the other ones? This one feels like a
Yes.
human wrote it poorly, and some of them
Right.
felt very AI. And like this movie has been around since 1985. Has no one written a synopsis? Has
I
no
don't
real
understand.
humans done it?
They're all out looking for the X. Not one time do they say they're looking for the X. They're looking for One-Eyed Willie's treasure. Give me a
Yes,
break. Anyway,
it's true.
most of us know what this movie is about. If you're here listening, go watch it first. Do not let us be the first ones to introduce you to this movie.
That's very true.
Ugh.
This movie, however, does introduce us to so many actors that we know today. It has all the babies in it, and it made me smile so much to list them. We have Sean Astin, who is so close to our hearts,
Yes.
having been in Lord of the Rings. There is Ke Huy Quan, who y'all know from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He played Short Round and now is having this amazing career resurgence. Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, Martha Plimpton. This movie was stacked with people before they hit it big.
Truly, truly. I didn't even realize that that was Josh Brolin until you
Yeah.
wrote this list. And then Josh Brolin also is someone where I'm like, I know the name, I know the face, could not name like a thing that he was in, and then saw that he was Thanos. I don't think
He
I knew that.
was. He was
Oh,
Thanos, yeah.
what
Mhm.
a journey.
Yes. Yes.
What a
Uh,
journey.
so I'm going to start with our first discussion question. It is definitely cruel to rank child actors, but I still need to know who was your favorite.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Sean Astin for me,
He's
hands
so
down.
cute.
He is so cute in this movie, and like my love for Sean Astin just transcends every movie that he's in. I feel like his warmth radiates through the screen. Like he actually recorded a little message for this charity to be played before the movie.
Oh my
Like, I
God.
know, he's just so sweet. And yeah, I love his character in this movie. But I don't know. I think in general, and this is a problem that I have, and one that if I ever were to like write a screenplay, one that I would like to rectify, all of the male characters are very likable and have a lot of
Hmm.
redeeming qualities. I do not really care for the two female leads.
Yeah, yeah. I
They're
mean,
annoying.
Martha Plimpton's character, I think her name is Steph, is like supposed to be annoying, and that's
Yeah.
really lame.
I
And
actually like her
then,
better than the
yeah,
what's the other girl, the supposedly
I don't
popular
remember.
one. Well, there you go. That's
The
how
one
I
that
feel
Josh
about her.
Brolin likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very boring and
Uh,
one-dimensional. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And I don't know, they play off stereotypes
they
about young
do.
girls, and they're going along for the adventure, but they're very much going along for the adventure. Like the only way that they contribute is her playing the piano like semi badly.
It kind of feels like they should have just made the movie without them.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised there were girls in the group. Like this, a movie about a group of little boys would have been fine to have just been a movie about a group of little boys, I think.
Yeah, I agree. They like if you think about their roles and then you take them out, like it would be so easy to like not miss them. The thing that I was saying that I want to rectify, it's not only just having better female characters, but I want like this version, which is like the fun group of young male friends that also is in like Stranger Things with like there's a couple girls in
Hmm.
there and much better characters in that show.
Yes.
But obviously like they had time to correct some of the mistakes. That was obviously that show was heavily inspired by the Goonies. That's pretty clear. Like
Yes.
80s nostalgia, Steven Spielberg, etc. But what I would want is just like that same thing, but with a group of girls. Like I want them to be all girls,
Yeah.
young friends, just as adventurous, just as like getting involved in stuff, going
Totally.
after adventure. I would love that. We need that. We need more of that if it's out there. I haven't seen it.
Hollywood, mine our podcast. We have had nothing but great ideas for you.
I know. I
We're giving them
know.
out for free.
Honestly, if we just like had at all a role to play in making these decisions, we'd have some fun stuff come out of it.
We've got it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, okay. Sean Astin, Mikey, he's so cute. He's so earnest. He's my second favorite.
Mm.
But I just love Dada. I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
hysterical. I think that Kihu Kwan is so good. He is like so goofy with all his little inventions, always poking out all the time. But then he also like he just gets pissed sometimes, and I just kind of appreciate that about him.
Yeah, I agree. He's so adorable. I actually think the all of the boys are like really well-rounded characters and
Yeah.
have very unique traits, but they're all like believable and well developed. Like I
Yeah.
really love Chunk. I mean, aside from the
Yeah.
rude nickname, and that was definitely an 80s thing where it's just like
Yeah.
being a chubby kid is just like it's fair for you to be the brunt of the joke, which is not cool, but very common of that time. But Chunk was so funny. Like there are so many little
Yeah.
one-liners he has, like when they're um fake torturing him, trying to get information out of him, and he does that whole where they're like, I want you to tell me everything. And then he's like, everything, and they're like, everything. And then he's like, oh, when I was 5, and I get he like starts telling his entire life story, like he's like confessing to a priest. That scene gets me every time. Oh my
He's
gosh, I just
so
love him.
good.
He's so cute. And Mouth is fun too. He's like not really my cup of tea in terms of humor, but love Corey
No.
Feldman.
Corey
Still fun.
Feldman, his acting is so
So
good,
good.
though. Like,
So
Mouth
good.
is annoying, sure,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be. But,
right.
like, the accents he does, the attitude he has, Corey
Oh, he's
Feldman was
so good.
unbelievable.
He's good in everything, and he just like he is 80s nostalgia.
Yes, yes, very much.
He's great.
Well, we did it. We made it. We made it through. We ranked child actors,
Well, at
and
least we didn't
we're
like
not
fully
terrible
rank
people.
them.
Yeah,
We just picked our favorites.
the boys are good. The girls were really not
Not
done
good.
justice.
Not good
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
So in a previous episode, we talked about kind of all of these different types of horror movies. And one of the things you listed was there's horror movies for kids. And this is not really classified as that, but like, do you think this could be that? Like, do you think there are scary enough moments where this like might scare children where they might think of it as a scary movie?
I yes, only because I am one of them. If you recall, I mentioned that I do not recall seeing the film and definitely did not watch it in its entirety as a child, but I have a core memory at my grandma's house. It was playing, and the scene where Mikey goes down into the basement, they're in the restaurant. He goes down into the basement, and we have not seen Sloth yet. But
Hmm.
we hear like him screaming, jangling his chains, and we just see like a shadow. Oh my gosh. I remember being so scared. I like had to like either leave the room, turn it off. I don't remember what happened, but like that was it. I was like, I'm done. This is too much.
Oh,
I know. But I mean, like it's that's so hard to gauge now as an adult when we were like, oh, that beheading
yeah.
was kind of boring. Not a good enough beheading for
We've
me.
been ruined. Yeah,
Yes, I
that's fair.
think for a young child, there are a few moments that are designed to be. I'm maybe beyond that. Like, I don't know. I don't
What
think
actually
so.
got me this time was the scene where they're questioning Chunk, where the Fratellis are questioning Chunk and they're threatening to put his hand in the blender. Like that was scary.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
also goofy. It was
Well,
scary.
but you like know they're not going to.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I have a
It's
lot
rated
of
PG, right?
emotions these days, and I was just like putting
Yeah.
myself in his shoes, like how
Oh
scared he
yeah.
must have felt.
Oh, totally. It's true. That is like really graphic. That's like the kid version of like putting like in horror movies the trope of the what is it called? The garbage disposal. Well, that was a struggle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a common trope. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well,
This
scary
is,
moments
I
for
would
kids. Yeah.
arguably the least scary, close second to practical magic. Wait. Wait, would this be scarier than practical magic or is this I don't know what I just
Practical
said.
Magic has some
Some slightly darker,
yeah.
more scary scenes. Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
say, but I don't know like what words happened out of my mouth just then. So,
We should have a podcast.
oh,
We talk good.
every time I'm like words, words, words.
Well, so also though, this is a fun adventure movie. There were some kind of scary things, but not really scary. But like the actual underlying reason they went for the treasure, like, was like this like terrifying adult stuff. Like there were these really
Yeah.
adult worries because there was a developer that was coming to buy up all the houses and tear them down, and so the kids were all going to be broken up, and all the families had to move, and like the kids took on that worry and wanted to do something about it, and that made me really sad.
Oh, I know. That was something that would definitely just go straight over your head as a child. And then as an
Yeah.
adult, you're like, oh my gosh, I hope that my child never has that sort of stress of being like, we have to leave our home. we have to like leave our friends, all because of like this greedy, what was his name? Something very typical, like Todd
Mm.
or Troy. Troy,
Troy.
he's
It
such a
was
cute
Troy's
guy. That's
dad.
what Dana
Yeah.
says at one point. Yes, it was Troy's dad. Troy's obviously like a skeezy little bastard too in the
Hmm.
movie. Pretty stereotypical. But I agree. I I think something Steven Spielberg does really well with his stories is he makes like it a really big thorn. Like it's a very
Mm.
serious like plot driving device that's not just like a, oh, like we want to go on an adventure. Like that's like what our
Yeah.
version of the Goonies would be like. Let's
Right.
go play make believe and pretend that like what happened in the Goonies is happening to us as we like
Hmm.
walk through the woods behind my house. But this was like a real, yeah, a real strong motivation. And I don't know, it makes for a good story. He knows how to do a good story, I tell you what. That's a really hot take on Steven Spielberg. He is good at his job.
Well, so this was the story is by Spielberg. The screenplay was actually written by Chris Columbus, who directed one or two of the Harry Potter movies. Actually, I thought that was
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I was like, I know that name because like one because it's Christopher Columbus,
Yeah,
but um,
easy to remember.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I have a lot of trouble keeping track of like who does what in movies, and then it like really blends. Like there can be someone who's like written by, directed by, and produced by Steven Spielberg. And then like, I have so much trouble deciphering like who does what job and then what they actually do. Like, what does a producer actually do in a movie? I don't know. Don't tell me because like that would be boring. It's a struggle I have. We know Steven Spielberg is awesome.
Yeah,
That's all we're
totally.
all.
I mean,
That's where
I
I'll leave my
do,
thought.
however, feel as though he just ripped off his own movies. I feel like The Goonies is Indiana Jones for children. That's my hot
Yeah,
take.
but what's wrong with that? Is that a
Nothing. It's
problem?
delightful. No, it's great.
Okay.
I love
I mean, for
it.
sure. Like the Goonies I think doesn't feel original, but it was like the original kind of kids version that I can think of. Like I feel like that story has been told a lot of that kind of like group of friends goes on a wild adventure that's, ends up with treasure
Ends up with treasure.
and or saving the world,
It's true. They often save the world.
They
Yeah. Yeah,
do,
but there
yeah.
was like, it was very Indiana Jones.
Oh, totally. Totally, but
And I love that.
that's what a lot of great stories are, you realize, is they're like, how about this, but like with this twist?
Yeah.
What creativity is. It's just like copying other people's ideas and making it your own and just not so close. And technically, like, can you copy your own idea?
I guess not. I guess
Right?
not.
Is that plagiarism if you plagiarize yourself? You're like, wow, this was so good.
All right. All right. I'll stop ragging on Spielberg.
Don't
It
you
was a good
dare.
story. It's a good
Yeah,
story. Thanks for bringing it to us. All right. My
don't go there.
final question for you. As children, do you think if we got started on this adventure, hopefully we did not have the trauma associated with why they started, but if we got started on it, do you think we would have like gotten that far, or would we have turned back like way earlier?
Like, just me and you. Do we have.
Whatever ragtag band of friends that we had surrounding us at that age.
Yeah. Yeah, I can think of a few others. And because of that, no. It's not like the others would have made us stronger. I mean, we
No.
had like a lot of asthma and anxiety in that group. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think we would have made it far. I feel like I may have chosen because I like have a grit, like don't give up attitude. I may have chosen to
Mm.
go on alone and perished.
We were also pretty big rule followers though. Like
That's
even
true.
like breaking into the abandoned restaurant. Like I don't know, man. We did
Yeah.
not do that kind of thing.
Yeah, there wasn't like one bad influence in the group really who was like,
No.
let's do it. Because they kind of all like are like, oh, we shouldn't really do this, and then still kind of do it. Yeah, I don't think would have had
Hmm.
anyone who would have been like pushing the boundaries that much. So we probably would have just been like, that house scary. We go home
Yeah.
now. Bye bye. Hot chocolate, please.
And then we would have had to leave our hometown. We would have failed our parents, who were apparently entirely dependent on us and a random
Right.
bag of jewels.
Yes. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. It was nice knowing you, Sarah. Maybe we still would stay friends because, we've been doing friendship long distance for quite some time now.
We have. It's
Yeah,
true. They could have been pen pals. The Goonies would have been fine.
that's true. That's true.
All right. Do you have any other thoughts before we move on to today's game?
I don't have thoughts today. I just don't. I'm void of thoughts.
Right.
Nothing personal to the Goonies. Love it.
Short podcast
Fun
today.
movie. I guess because it's not horror, I don't really have anything to say other than being like it's fun.
It's not that deep.
No.
Some
Yeah.
kids having some fun, solving a really big problem. There's a really cool pirate ship that we haven't talked about, so now
So
I've
good.
vocalized
And
that.
a deleted scene of a killer octopus. Why was that not in there? Go look it up on YouTube later, Sarah. Get
Oh,
back to
I
us.
will have to look that up.
I meant to send that to you.
What I watched on YouTube was the music video for the Cyndi Lauper song that she
Oh,
wrote for the movie,
so
and it
good.
is unhinged,
I
that
have not
music
seen
video.
the music video. I'll have to watch that. We'll do a little YouTube swap later. But
It's
my baby
so
is
weird.
obsessed with this song. He loves Cyndi Lauper, and this came on, and he has one move, and it's just like this on the ground. He just like kind of undulates.
Well, you
He
should put
loves
on the
her.
music video for him, but be ready for the first 3 minutes to just be really bad acting as they try to establish a story that is in no way related to the Goonies, but then also she goes on an adventure with the Goonies.
Oh, weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
All
enjoy.
right. Well, I shall enjoy the octopus.
I can't wait. I love an octopus.
Ugh.
Okay, time for today's game, which is
Oh, yay.
called Horror Nepo Babies.
Oh, fun. Love it.
So, a lot of the kids in this movie, let's say several of the kids in this movie, are what we would today call Nepo babies. They have famous parents or relatives in the biz and happen to have some really cool horror connections that I'm super excited to talk about. So,
Gosh,
what
yay.
I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the movie or TV show, and you are going to guess which of the Goonies actors, it's the whole Goonies, all the kids, the young kids, the older kids,
Okay.
which of those actors is related to someone who played a major role in that movie or TV show.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
It's gonna be some straight up guessing, I think. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. I'm like, that is such a leap for my brain right now, but I don't, even on a good night, I don't think I would get it. So hit me. I'm
All
ready.
right, okay. We're gonna start with the 1979 version of the Amityville Horror.
Oh, Josh Brolin's dad.
Yeah, you've got it. Yep.
Ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding. We're back on
you
horror, so I'm like, I
win.
got it.
That's
That might be
great.
it, though. That
I
might be
started
it.
it a little easy. That was an easy one. All right, so that is Josh Brolin as our first Nepo baby. The next one is the 1960s TV show of the Addams Family.
Oh, wow. No idea. No idea. Okay, I'll just
Give
say
me a
Martha
guess.
Plimpton.
Good guess, but no. Sean Astin. So Sean Astin's adoptive father, who must have been in his life from a very early age because his name is John Astin, played Gomez in the original Addams Family TV show that ran from
Oh.
1964 to 1966.
I didn't know he was a Nepo baby.
Yeah. Also a Nepo baby.
Wow.
All right, this is going to be our hardest one.
Oh, God. Okay.
This person was actually in a ton of horror movies around the 1940s.
Oh.
Two of the more prevalent ones were House of Frankenstein in 1944 and House of Dracula in 1945. He played Dracula in both. He was the first person to play Dracula after the original, was his name Bela Lugosi, I think. So he was a big deal back in the 1940s. This was the grandfather of
Corey Feldman?
Good try. Martha
I was
Plimpton.
gonna say, I was like, I gotta guess her again because I bet Sarah's
Yeah.
trying to cover it up.
Yeah. Martha Plimpton. So Martha
Oh,
Plimpton's
wow.
father was Keith Carradine, and her grandfather is John Carradine. The most famous of the family that we all would recognize is David Carradine, who was in a lot of Carradine, probably David Carradine,
No
who
idea.
was in Kill Bill, among a lot of other movies. So those are our
Wow.
Nepo babies that were in the Goonies.
So fun. I love it.
Yeah. Also, a little bonus fun fact while we're here, the director of this movie, Richard Donner, also directed episodes of The Twilight Zone and the original Omen movie in
Ooh,
1976.
that's a scary one.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
watched that at Amanda's house, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, this is heavy."
Hmm.
Usually, we were in for like the silly, campy kind of
Yeah.
ones, and that was like actually scary, from what I recall. Maybe we'd watch it now, and I'd be like, "Yeah,
Oh, I think it was probably pretty scary. That's just like, that is scary content.
yeah,
You really have to mess that up.
yeah." Like as someone who has a baby child, just
Yeah.
trying to put yourself in that parent's shoes when you're like, "Is my child the devil?"
Yeah.
That's a
Hmm.
good hook. Scary, scary concept.
No, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
that is all I have on the Goonies.
All right, well, that's it for our movie recap discussion. I don't even know what to call what we did today. Sweet dreams, homebodies.
Now it's time for your bedtime story.
Today we were traveling to a small island just south of Mexico City, so you get to enjoy my terrible Spanish accent again today.
Yay.
So this island is known as Isla de la Munecas, I'm going to say. In English, the Island of the Dolls.
Creepy already.
Have you heard of this?
No.
I had heard of this one before, and it freaked me out. It freaked me out, I'm gonna be honest. The name itself is pretty self explanatory, but to add some additional context, imagine that there was a place where all of the Barbies and dolls that we tortured and mutilated as children ended up there, and then were tied to trees. We're just flopping around in the breeze. That's basically what the Island of the Dolls is. It's very
What?
creepy. Yeah. Why don't you take a moment, just do a little Google image search
Do
there.
I want to? I was thinking about sleeping tonight.
Yeah, it's weird. You have to see. You got to see it to believe it. You'll be okay though.
Ooh, I do not like it.
It's so weird.
Okay. All right.
All
Tell
right,
tell me more. Is it gonna
you
make
got the
me feel
visual.
better or worse?
The same probably. Just
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna just keep
Okay.
that energy going.
Great.
So the island eventually became a popular tourist destination, but once it was just a simple, uninhabited floating garden. I didn't know what a floating garden was until
Hmm.
today. Basically, just like not really an island, it's just somewhere in between. Like it's basically just peat
Oh, just
and
it floats.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
All
don't
right.
know. Really thick peat. You know what peat is, right?
Yeah,
Not
because
sure
I
that
love
I do.
Oh, I love scotch, so I know what peat is.
Oh, okay. Anywho,
Yeah.
that didn't clear up anything for me. So, like I said, it was uninhabited. That changed in the 1950s when a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera left his
You're doing
family.
great.
Wow. Thank you so much. That really hurt my brain. He left his family to live on this small island, and this is on Texhulo Lake. I should have just not even put that in there. I don't know why I'm making it worse. Texhulo. I did not look up how to pronounce that, if you can't tell. Check the show notes if you want more information. Just Google it. It won't be in there. Anyway, while his motivation to leave his family and move to an island alone was unclear, it was possible that he may have been living with one or more mental illnesses. We don't know for sure, though. Shortly after moving to the island, Santana Barrera claimed to have found the body of a young girl who had drowned in the lake. The girl, I know, it's so sad, but we don't even know if this is true, so grain of salt. The girl seemed to have been accompanied by a doll, so he found the body and then found a doll floating nearby. And this was in the canal near the island.
Okay.
Santana Barrera was understandably devastated that he wasn't able to help the girl, and whether haunted by guilt, grief, or something else, Later that night, he began to hear whispers amongst the trees.
Mm-mm.
In order to appease what he believed to be the restless spirit of the girl, he hung her doll from a tree near his watery home. But the one doll did not seem to be enough. The whispers continued to torment him, so he continued to hang more and more dolls from the branches of trees throughout the island. I like how I go from like, he, and then I'm like, one night. I'm so breathy. Wow, sorry everyone. I don't know, at some point I just like transition into like creepy storytelling mode.
You should keep that for the whole time.
I just got really self-conscious about that. Okay. So where was he finding these dolls? He was searching dumpsters, he was scouring the canal, he was just looking for any doll in any way, shape, or form to hang up and add to his collection. He was hoping that the next doll that he would hang would finally make the voices stop. And he did this for the next 50 years.
Wow.
And many of the dolls were damaged and deformed, had missing limbs, heads, were dirty, were burnt, marred, like they were messed up. Like there is not a normal looking doll in the bunch, and then they're left in the elements, so they just continue to look worse and worse over time. And Santana Barrera claimed that he was not the only one hanging dolls from the trees. He claimed that some appeared as if out of nowhere. They were dismembered and strung up by some invisible force in the night.
Whoa.
Then, in 2001, Don Julian Santana Barrera was found dead, floating in the canal by his makeshift home in the same place he claimed to have found the little girl all those years earlier. Creepy.
Very.
Right? It's weird. We don't know, the cause of his death, accidental, heart attack, drowning. But there he was. To honor him, visitors continued to bring dolls to hang on the trees, resulting in the island eventually being filled with hundreds of dolls. And
terrifying.
Visitors claim, of course, the dolls are evil and possessed. Because, what else could they possibly be,
Duh.
right?
Yeah.
So legends say that the dolls have been known to turn their heads and watch visitors walk by. They move their arms, if they even have any arms, and even have been known to blink. So creepy.
Yikes.
For some reason, the blinking is the worst for me.
I would agree.
Oh, it would be the head turn with the blink. That would put me over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after nightfall, the dolls are said to come alive and whisper to each other, brought to life by the spirits of the dead. Now, if you were to visit the island of the dolls, you're advised to bring an offering, or else risk being swallowed up by the island and perhaps becoming a doll yourself. Okay, so that's the story of the Island of the Dolls. It's a real place. You could visit it at one point. I'm not sure if you can anymore. I tried to look up kind of the basic details. This is in Mexico, so I obviously can't check up on it in real time here. But the most recent reviews on TripAdvisor were very negative and saying that the original island is either gone or it's been cleaned up or closed, but they're still running some sort of tour to some sort of place. It's like a 4-hour boat trip to either just a random island without dolls or a replica. Yeah, it seemed scam-like. So, if you are planning a visit, I would say do your due diligence and check on that, because it seems like whatever it once was, it's not anymore.
I will not be planning a visit. A 4-hour boat ride to go find this sounds like the beginning of a horror movie where you're just screaming at the people, why are you doing this? Obviously, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, except for then you just lose, 2,000 pesos and half a day.
Probably.
And you're like, why are you bringing me to look at this tree? It's just a plain tree.
It's a haunted tree.
But I hear you. I like you are doing your due diligence, just in a different way.
I'm harbinging.
I will not be haunted. Okay.
Harbinging.
Good for you. That's our new word for just anxiety.
Yeah.
Harbinging.
Exactly.
That's it.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, what are we going to talk about next week?
Next week is a very important holiday. Aside from Halloween, definitely the second most holiday. Holiday? So the second most holiday of all the holidays, it is Friday the 13th. And in addition to talking about the original 1980 slasher classic, we are also going to be sharing a creepy New England tale about a haunted forest in Randolph, Maine. See you there, if you dare.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Haunted Homebodies. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
And remember, when in doubt, just stay home.